Welcome back to Mock the Mock, where we take a look at someone else's mock draft. And I'm mocking, giving you my views, thoughts, and opinions. And we're looking at this one courtesy of the Draft Network's own Damian Parson. But what's crack-a-lackin' is your boy Broshmo. Just in case you did not know so, go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content as always. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, where we have that nice, beautiful football discourse. Yes, we do. Draft order is based on Super Bowl odds entering week 3. All right, so there it is. Got the draft order. It's the Arizona Cardinals. So obviously this was done before week 3 because, well, Cardinals won. But for me, I think it's regardless what team is here, the number 1 pick is Caleb Williams. Big arm, phenomenal improviser. You could nitpick things here and there, but the guy is the number 1 overall pick. Obviously, the Cardinals winning this week becomes a little more unlikely that they will be picking first overall. But hey, we're only 3 weeks in. We got a heck long of a season to go, so just slow the roll. But as of now, Cardinals are taking Caleb Williams. Then number 2 is also the Cardinals. Okay, and this is via Houston's pick, who also won this week. So yeah, interesting. But Marvin Harrison Jr., this is kind of ideal. Like, ideally, you could, okay, we're going to grab Caleb Williams, and then we're going to take one of the best receivers we've seen in quite some drafts in him. I mean, the Cardinals would love this. Just to be able to get Marvin Harrison. Forget Caleb Williams for a second, but add that to these playmakers in Hollywood Brown, Michael Wilson, Rondale, who's also, they're getting creative with how they use him. He just had a long rushing touchdown this past week. You would love to add Marvin Harrison Jr. To the fold there. But yeah, if you're almost any team, you kind of love that 1-2 punch of Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr. At number 3, we got the Chicago Bears, and they're going Drake Maye. And Just Fields is having a rough year. Granted, starters on the offensive line. You got Braxton Jones hurt, and then Nate Davis currently missing time. So it's not like they have the full-fledged starting unit they anticipated. But regardless, the line play hasn't been that great. The playmakers for Fields have been dropping balls, but Fields needs to get quicker as a processor. Like, he'll stay on one read way too long. He'll just be missing open guys. If not much changes from here until the end of the season, then yeah, they're going to probably go with a quarterback. I feel way better, obviously, if it's Caleb Williams. And Drake Maye, I kind of sit and think a bit, okay, do we want to just go another year with Fields, or do we just Mitch Trubisky ourselves once again? And I make that joke not because of Drake Maye, just, you got North Carolina. Number 4, it's the Bears pick. So we have Arizona, Chicago. This is via Carolina Panthers. They take Jared Verse. Big fan of Verse. Verse doesn't necessarily have the production to go with it this year, but I think his game's a lot more well-rounded. I think he's become better as a run defender. And, I mean, the guy's jacked to the gill. He's going to test out amazingly. And this Bears team, no one's rushing the passer. And I mean, no one is rushing the passer. Indianapolis Colts here at 5. They take Brock Bowers. That's kind of fun. I like that. A guy that come in, he can block. I mean, I think Steichen would love a weapon like that. Unfortunately, like Jelani Woods, he's currently on the IR. Hopefully, if he can make it back, can't recall what the injury is, but you can see what you got in him. But Mo Alley Cox is a depth tight end. Kylan Granson, he's more of a big slot. So Brock Bowers, he's different, man. He's different. He was last year at 230 blocking exceptionally well. You got to block well if you're going to be a Georgia tight end. You really, really do. Now he's up to 240. The playmaking ability is amazing. You almost are okay with him just being a receiver. So, yeah, I don't mind the pick whatsoever. All right, Las Vegas Raiders take Quinn Ewers. So we got 3 quarterbacks in the top 6 picks. Very interesting. So, I mean, with Jimmy G, you could sit Ewers for a year, because this is the thing with Quinn Ewers. I think he might need to sit a year if he does declare for this draft. His downfield accuracy is real spotty, but I like the talent, man. I like the arm. I like his ability to process and just move in the pocket, quick release. There's a lot to really like about Ewers. You just kind of question, how ready is he for the NFL game? Because you do still see some of that this downfield. You saw it all over in the Alabama game. He had even his touchdown pass to Worthy. It was like, that could have been placed so much better. Denver Broncos, they're next up here. They're going Olu Fashanu. I think part of this is probably Garrett Bowles is going to be gone after this season. I think they're going to have to get rid of some of those bigger contracts, and Bowles seems like a prime candidate, even though he's probably their best player on that offensive line right now. And I mean, he came out after the game, after that 70-20 beat down by the Dolphins, fins up, baby. He was just like, man, I've been here 7 years and I won't win in season. I just want to win. So maybe he goes somewhere he can win. But Olu Fashanu, I think Joe Alt's probably a better schematically for a Sean Payton, like that multi-power run scheme. But regardless, Fashanu, that's like 1A, 1B to me. It doesn't really matter. At pick 8, you see Malik Neighbors. Okay, over Joe Alt is what it is. Patriots get a receiver that can attack all levels of field, smooth athlete, can create after the catch, and can create separation downfield. The dude's had a phenomenal year. He had that big game against the Mississippi State Bulldogs, and he is the second receiver off the board. I know a lot of people, they're ready to put their flags in for who's wide receiver 2. I'm a bit more fluid, a bit more open about whether that's you got Malik Neighbors, Mecca Buka, and Keon Coleman. And I think there's some other names that might also get thrown in that cycle, as this is a good wide receiver class. New York Giants, they'll take Keon Coleman. So there goes another receiver. Back to back. Listen, he is radically different than anything they have on this roster. I probably would go maybe Joe Alt. I don't know. The offensive line's been bad, and it's not like rookie play is going to really help. But typically, like rookie wide receivers just are much easier to get, or at least quicker, get acclimated to the NFL game than really any other position in the NFL. So Keon Coleman, I mean, you could almost plug and play. This is probably what they were hoping to get out of Kenny Golladay. Again, radically different from what they have on the roster. The Los Angeles Rams, they go with Joe Alt. That's great, man. They're I don't if you were here for that Monday night watch along, their left tackle situation is hot garbage. They put Noteboom there at guard. He was bad, but he was originally supposed to be their left tackle going forward. Alaric Jackson was kind of all right this season. Nothing special, though. But he was hurt, and it was Zach Thomas who had to step in, the former tackle from San Diego State, who a lot of people projected as a guard. And he got torched. He got blown away by Trey Hendrickson. It was rough. So Joe Alt would be a phenomenal addition there. And I bet you the Jets kind of wish he was still on the board. I'm kind of curious where Marius Mims might be in this draft. The Jets go with Cameron Kitchens. I'm going to have to read this one. Aaron Rodgers being lost for the season allows the Jets to keep their first-round pick. Let's add another top-tier defensive back. Cameron Kitchens is fantastic. Can confirm. Kitchens is a high-post single high safety who would allow the Jets corners to play more aggressive with his range to cover sideline to sideline. Like, legitimately, this guy he plays with ball cam on. Like, he is a playmaker. He's got a nose for the football, legit ball hawk, and ridiculous athlete. Literal center fielder. For the Jets, though, I mean, they are kind of missing that spot, but you almost got to think, Gotta think maybe tackle here. Maybe he's just not high on Mims like I am. Granted, Mims is hurt, so that could hurt a little bit. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're going to go Michael Penix Jr. Another ad for Panini here. I guess I might as well shoot my own ad while we're at it. Hey, when you sign up using promo code Broshmo at Underdog Fantasy, They will match your first deposit up to $100 dues. That means you deposit $100 on your first time. They're going to give you $200 to play with. If it's $40, they're going to give you $80. If it's $25, they're going to give you $50, so on, so forth. It is the best place to play. Weekly fantasy, best ball. I really like their higher and lowers with player props that I have a ton of fun with. By the way, coming out tomorrow is my predictions and bets video where we go over Gojo's picks of the weekend. Gojo, not a bad showing this past week. He missed on one, but nailed the other ticket he had. So, which made our money back and then some. So that's all I can ask from Gojo. But Michael Penix, mechanics, you could like kind of nitpick that, but that's something like easily can be fixed in the NFL with good coaching. But for me, and I stated this in my quarterback rankings, I stated this in my big board video, it's just the injury concerns. Like prior to last season, he had season-ending injuries, 2 shoulder injuries, 2 ACL injuries. Never played more than 6 games in a season. Now he has another healthy year here. It'd be like, okay, maybe all that in the past, maybe you could kind of like just scrub that. But as they do say, the best ability you could have in the NFL is availability. But regardless, I'm sure the Bucs would love a quarterback. Tennessee Titans go Latu. No, there will be not another quarterback drafted here. Blah, blah. Okay, makes a quarterback joke. Latu would boost this defensive unit. I feel like a lot of their problems stem from like the corner position. You got Sean Murphy-Bunting, who's probably playing the best right now out of their corners, but also Christian Bolton is on IR, I believe. And injuries have kind of always been a thing in his career. So you can still, again, what I was getting to, Sean Murphy-Bunting is a free agent after the season. So you would think corner would be high up on that list. They could always go offensive line because Andre Dillard is having a rough go at it right now, and they would probably love to get a tackle up in there unless they think Pierre Skronsky and Nicholas Petit-Frere are those guys moving forward. I don't know, man. But Latu, man. Another guy with the neck injury that thought may have ended his career. So does have the injury red flag, but this guy is the best finesse rusher in the class. He's off to a hot start this season. Minnesota Vikings, do they get a quarterback? They get Cameron Ward. Oh, we're getting the hype train started. Golly gee. All right, listen, I'm not this high on Cameron Ward. He's moved up my board, but I ain't this high. Just because I don't think everything's translatable in that offense at Washington State, but he has certainly improved in terms of how he maneuvers the pocket, how he sets his feet. Not as hoppy as he was a year ago. The turnover-worthy plays, there's still some there, but for the most part, he's starting to hit these big-time throws too. Oh, like he's having a good year there at Washington State. I don't know if it's enough for the first round though. Washington, they're gonna go with Patrick Paul. Everyone loves Patrick Paul's tools. He's having a really good season as well. I think honestly, this cat probably just needs polish. If you're unfamiliar, his brother's Chris Paul, who came out of Tulsa. I think he actually plays guard, which is kind of funny, for the Washington Commanders. But yeah, no, offensive line has been good. You could also say that about Sam Howell. When he's been bad, he's been really bad, and when he's been good, he's won them a game. So quarterback definitely probably still on the table, but at this point, 4-5 quarterbacks are off the board, so it becomes less likely. So maybe you do want to dip into the tackle class, whether this is to replace a Charles Leno or Andrew Wiley. Seattle Seahawks, they go with interior Leonard Taylor. I love me Leonard Taylor, by the way. One of my guys. First, I love the Hurricanes. Do you, baby? I'm a Hurricanes fan. What can I say? But this guy's moves like a linebacker at 300 pounds. And I don't think he's a nose tackle where he's spent a lot of time this year for Miami, but he's someone definitely you could probably move around that interior. And like he kind of exploded in the Temple game, and hopefully that's just more to come. Like with him, it was just like, can we see more playing time and a larger sample size of him? But Leonard Taylor is good. For this pick, though, I don't know. I feel like pass rush might still be the thing. I know people are going to be like, oh, they destroyed the Panthers. Everyone's destroying the Panthers. Don't flatter yourselves. So, like, maybe you think pass rush, but that is also a position they've invested a ton in terms of draft picks, like back-to-back second rounders. They brought in Nwosu on a free agent contract a couple of years ago. You could talk about even Darrell Taylor there. So, Pittsburgh Steelers, they go with Kool-Aid McKinstry. So, top corner just kind of falls in their lap. Gotta love it. Honestly, you look at that defense and it's corner. You're like, okay, Joey Porter looks like he's going to be really good for them. But, I mean, you got old Patrick Peterson and you have Levi Wallace, who's really a solid depth player. Like, you're not mad if he's your number 2 corner, but you're like, yeah, but we could upgrade that position. So, like, Kool-Aid McKinstry would be huge. Really good scheme fit. Chargers at 18 go Chris Jenkins. They finally get someone that can maybe stop the run. This dude, from a technical standpoint, really good. I want to see the pass rush numbers go up a little bit with him. He got up to that 300-pound mark after playing at 285 last year, so you love to see it. Chris Jenkins also, I think he was number 1 in Bruce Feldman's Freaks list this past year, so. Green Bay Packers are going Tyler Nubbin. Safety's kind of the position. Like, I think safety or tackle when it comes to the Green Bay Packers. I really like Tyler Nubbin. Dude's got great length, very good athlete, great explosiveness, and he's just reading the ball so much better this season, reading the quarterback so much better this season, where he is now being more proactive than reactive in coverage. I mean, he started the year with 2 interceptions in that. Was it Nebraska? I think it was Nebraska. That they played. But yeah, strong start of the year. So safety's going actually pretty higher than they normally do in this draft. Atlanta Falcons go with Emeka Egbuka. So they draft another receiver that they won't throw the ball to. Ha! Really, quarterback's a big problem for them. I think they're a quarterback away. But you get Emeka Egbuka, who's a solid run blocker. All Ohio State wide receivers are that. That's just who they are. But Egbuka, really good route runner. Guy that can honestly attack all levels of the field. Very good athlete to pair up there with Drake London. So, who's at 21? The Houston Texans. This is via Cleveland's pick. They go Drazon Newton. I think honestly, this is one I've been making in all my mock drafts just because it makes the most sense. That's D'Amico Ryans. He loves guys in that middle. He wants to stop the run, but if you get a guy that could stop the run and bring some juice and pressure on that interior, then he would love that. Drazon Newton, I believe, was the highest rated run defender via PFF in 2022. A few more missed tackles this season than you want to see, but still very disciplined in that regard. But this is typically the pick I'm always making for the Texans. We got the New Orleans Saints. They're going Jatavion Sanders after they just gave Jawan Johnson money at tight end. Derek Carr has enough wide receiver talent to work with on the Saints when healthy. The tight end position is a different story. Jatavion Sanders, has the athleticism to win one-on-one matchups. He's an alignment flexible. Paired him with Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, and Rashid Shaheed. Great strong core for Derek Carr to work with. Man, I would love to jump on. Like, there isn't an interior in this class that I think is worth taking in the first round. I wouldn't mind jumping on a tackle here just in case, things with Trevor Penning don't work out. But I mean, I guess you got to address something, right? If you're picking here, you got to pick somebody. It's an interesting pick. Jacksonville Jaguars, they go Graham Barton. Okay, wow. So, and he lists him as an offensive lineman. So, after I just said, hey, I would love guard, if there was a first round guard in this class, Jacksonville essentially takes a guard. Walker Little's played pretty well for him. Anton Harrison has looked like a rookie. Kind of is what it is, but those are probably your tackles moving forward. So if you're drafting him, you're probably drafting him to play guard. So why not the Saints take this? Honestly, I love taking a pass rusher for the Jags because outside of Josh Allen, their pass rush has been cheeks. I'm talking booty cheeks. It's been bad. And it's put a lot of pressure on their corners. We saw that in the Houston game. Like that Houston game just emphasized like the worst qualities currently of the Jaguars when it came to just the receivers not being able to make catches, whether it's drops or catching the ball out of bounds. The offensive line going through their growing pains, or just the inability to rush the freaking passer against a patchwork offensive line like Houston currently had. So it's like, I like edge for Jacksonville. Cincinnati Bengals, they go Johnny Wilson. T. Higgins, man. T. Higgins looks like he's coasting right now this season. He really does. So maybe replacing him with another big-bodied receiver or a guy who could also line up as inline tight end. Gives you some flexibility there because you don't even necessarily have to get, like, you could sign T. Higgins. You really can. But, just in case. Johnny Wilson, though, ball skills for me, I don't think he's a natural ball catcher. Like, drops have been an issue for him, but like he has the ability to really high point the football. He's got the catch radius of a garage door. And the Detroit Lions take Kalen Keene. Yeah, added more corners, I think, go quite well for the Lions. Mainly outside corner, Emmanuel Mosley. I don't think he's even played yet because of the injury, but he's only on a 1-year deal. So you're still probably looking for that guy to play next to Cameron Sutton. So, yeah, I'm totally cool with Kalen Keene. He's the second corner off the board here. Miami Dolphins. I don't ask for much, but Armarius Mims still on the board here. I would love that for the Dolphins. I know you'd be like, oh, so Jackson's been fine. It's like, yeah. But the minute we give him money, he goes back to what we've seen earlier in his career. I don't want to play that game. Let's just see what the Dolphins take. Yes, it's Armarius Mims. I love this cat. He's out for like 4 to 6 weeks with an injury, but the dude, in terms of his size, it's incredible. The way he moves at that size, unbelievable. His power, impenetrable. His length, the dude be long. I just love Mims. You go back, he had 2 prior starts. He had 2 starts prior to the season, and they were during the playoffs, and he ran roughshod on teams like Ohio State and TCU. See, TCU got blown out so bad in the national championship game, I almost forgot that they were who Georgia faced. Baltimore Ravens. They're going with Dallas Turner. They could probably add more pass rush. I've kind of said this, that like no one's really emerged as a top flight pass rusher for the Ravens. So Dallas Turner wouldn't be a bad pick. He's really good value here. I think he is currently leading the nation in pressures. It was a bit of a, like, he wasn't really incredible the first couple of games. But after that Texas game, he's really turned it on since. And the dude is an unbelievable first step. Dallas Cowboys go with A.D. Mitchell. And I like this. They could probably part ways with a cat like Michael Gallup. A.D. Mitchell gives you that tall, vertical threat. Someone who's now with the larger sample size, him there at Texas. Remember with Georgia, because of injury, we kind of just saw it in parts. But he's really, really started to showcase why so many people really love this cat. Love this cat coming into the season, man. He's a gamer. Buffalo Bills go Xavier Leggett. Yo, I'm just saying. I'm not saying I'm the first. I'm not gonna say I'm the first guy that was on him, but I'm gonna say I was the first guy on him. We did the watch along. North Carolina versus South Carolina. I got bummed because Juice Wells got knocked out in the first quarter with a foot injury, and I'm just looking at this big 6'3", 227-pounder like. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? I'm gonna be looking this guy up in the game. And then he made my stock report for the first week, and he's just been amazing since then. He's already set career highs. A lot of it with him was injury and also just being stuck on the back into the depth chart. But he's really emerged. Like, he moves so well at that stinking size. Good route runner. Like, yeah, watch this guy. Like, this guy's gonna be like shooting up my rankings. I'm about to finish up because now I'm reordering my rankings this week. And I'm going to finish my eval on him, and he's just going to be shooting up my board, man. I love me Xavier Leggett. I don't know if I first round love me. Or I don't know if I first round love Leggett, though. I don't know. We'll find out. Xavier Worthy going to the Eagles. So this is like a replacement for Watkins. I mean, they really like Zacchaeus, and what he brings, he could attacks all levels of the field. I don't know if he really could say the same thing about Worthy. He's, for the most part, a screen and go guy with spotty ball skills. And I am starting to look at Worthy. Maybe, like, I get it. That speed is just hard to like pass up, and that's kind of what makes him first round worthy for a lot of people. But man. I don't know, man. I think he might end up being in the second round for me. But I get it. The speed. J.C. Latham going to the Niners. Colt McKivix has had a rough go at it as his first year as the full-time starter. Much finer depth piece at this point. But yeah, they probably want to get someone in there that just has that overwhelming strength, moves really well for a man his size. I think he's up to like 360, right? He just needs to kind of refine some of the things of the position. So is this the Kansas City Chiefs? They take Michael Hall. All right. So Chris Jones sat out week 1, got got his final year reworked, so he was making more money. Returned to the team, dominant force. Who would have thought? Probably the best interior player in all of football. And I don't know, man. I feel like the Chiefs should bring him back. But even if they do bring him back, I think grabbing an interior next to him would go a long way. And Michael Hall is like shot out of a cannon. Yes, he's a little stouter. I think he's like 6 foot, 6'1" maybe. Around the 290 area. So he's a little undersized, but like he does a good job of staying clean from contact. Kind of just bounces off blockers to be this just disruptor in the backfield. So I don't mind it at all. But wow, okay, that's it. Freaking Xavier Leggett making it, dude. That kind of, I'm sorry, that just kind of made my day. But that's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing, and as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.